Right. Last one for the year. We've made it to the end of 2025. Welcome to your monthly Caribbean Drone News. And this is your December 2025 edition. Now, before we get into the stories that we're going to talk about this month, I just want to say thank you for all of you who joined me this year along the journey. And thanks to everyone who has been part of it coming into this year. And I look forward to expanding the audience going into 2026. Now, what we're going to talk about this month. Belize Bolsters Maritime Border Patrol, Guyana's historic leap into drone logistics, the FCC implements foreign drone ban, and the end of an era for DJI drones. Let's get into it. Now, in our first story, the Belize Coast Guard is closing out the year with a significant jump in aerial endurance. The Ministry of National Defense and Border Security has officially integrated the perimeter aid drone into the Coast Guard's fleet. Now, this handover took place in Belize City and is aimed at strengthening the enforcement and protection of Belize's marine resources. Now, Belize continues to face ongoing challenges in adequately monitoring its vast maritime territory, which includes more than 240 miles of coastline and hundreds of islands and keys. Now, according to officials, the new technology will enable the Coast Guard to adapt a more data-driven approach to marine resource management and conservation. Unlike standard electric quadcopters that we are accustomed to, the Perimeter 8 drone is a gasoline-electric hybrid. So while most commercial drones will give you about 40 minutes of flight time approximately, these units can patrol for up to 4 hours. And for a nation like Belize, this allows extended surveillance and monitoring for illegal fishing and narco-trafficking vessels far beyond, what traditional drones would be able to provide. I think that is a signal that the Caribbean national security is moving towards long-range extended endurance UAVs. Now, in our second story, Guyana is positioning itself as the regional hub for drone innovation, following a landmark signing of a memorandum of understanding among Guy Drones, Romira Airways, and AirDash. Now, this partnership brings together Guy Drones' expertise in unmanned aerial vehicles, AirDash's operational capabilities, and Romira Airways' aviation experience to establish a modern drone-enabled delivery network designed to serve communities across Guyana. Now, this agreement isn't just about technical trial runs, it's a commitment to building a permanent logistics corridor. This collaboration adds a new layer of transport designed to ensure the faster, smarter, and more reliable movement of essential goods across both coastal and hinterland regions. Now, being able to bypass traditional river and road transport, Guyana is effectively shrinking its geography, and this project could serve as a blueprint for other Caribbean nations with challenging or fragmented terrain looking to modernize their supply chains. And our third story for this month, the drone industry was rocked this month by a major regulatory shift from the U.S. Federal Communications Commission. The FCC has moved to ban all new authorizations, not just for DJI and Autel, but for all foreign-made drones. Now, what does this mean? The FCC has added all US and all US critical components produced in foreign countries to the covered list, which means that any new products from those companies on that list will not receive FCC authorization to operate in the US. Now, this went into effect immediately on December 22nd, 2025, and DJI, Autel, and every other foreign drone manufacturer would be affected by this. Now, what exactly is being banned? New FCC authorizations for foreign drones, flight controllers, batteries, motors, navigation systems, and ground control stations was not being banned. Your existing drones, previously authorized models still in inventory, are still available and not part of the covered list. Now, while the Caribbean is an independent region, this move creates a massive logistical headache because most regional operators source their equipment through US distributors. A ban on new FCC authorizations effectively halts the flow of the next generation of DJI technology into our market from the US, and operators may have to look elsewhere when it comes time to purchase. In our last story for this month, staying with DJI, they have officially announced an end of support for several of its most popular enterprise models. And our DJI has quietly updated its suspension of service support page, which I'll link in the description, with a long list of products that has either reached end of service or are scheduled to lose support in the near future. After the service suspension deadline stipulated on the support page, these products will no longer receive official repairs, spare parts, customer service, or firmware updates. Currently, the support page mentions around 111 products, including several drones from the early Phantoms to aging Mavic models. So if you've been flying DJI drones for a while, for fun or for professional use, there's a good chance that something you own is on that list. Although your device won't stop working, you should definitely pay attention to when official support for your model ends, especially if you own an older version. Now, regarding the latest update to this list, if your fleet includes the Matrice 200 V2 series or the Zenmuse XT or XT2 thermal cameras or the Lightbridge 2 system, your clock is ticking. Starting early 2026, DJI will no longer offer official repairs, technical support, or firmware updates for these units. So something to think about and take into consideration going forward. And that is it. We've made it to the end of another year. This is your last Caribbean Drone News for 2025. This has been the December edition, and I'd like to thank you all for being a part of this journey and look forward to you guys coming along for the ride into 2026 and beyond. Take care.